Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and today I thought I would touch upon something that I don't normally touch upon, and it's skills that are useful to you as a player, not for your characters, you as a player. And they are probably equally appropriate whether you're playing in a campaign with your friends or at a convention or at a game store. Some of them are obvious, some of them maybe less so. And hey, here's the great part: I'm not going in this with a checklist, right? I don't have a checklist in my hand, so if I forget shit, it's gonna be off the top of my head. And I forgot it on. First off, I'm not gonna tell you how to play like a fucking boss. Somebody else can do that. It's not me. I'm gonna give you some just basic tips, just if you're new to gaming. Number one, and I think this is the most important: listen. When I say listen, I don't just mean to the DM. While that's important, listen to what your fellow players are saying, and not just the jokes, not just the bullshitting, not just the bullcrap. Listen to what they're saying. They're probably talking about the goals of their character at some point, or what they want to do, or why they want to go left when the party wants to go right. Listen, give feedback, whether it's negative or positive. Um, give feedback. Listen to what they're saying, and if appropriate, respond to it. Because not only is it going to make it a better experience for you, because you're more involved in the game, it makes it a better experience for your fellow players because it means that you're listening. Somebody's listening to them. They're not just talking to the air. Because this is going to be another issue. Many of us, when we are players, have attention deficit disorder. And I say this with a little bit of a smile on my face because I don't think that most of us are, diagnosed with such, but it's true. Especially when we are playing games through a virtual tabletop, especially when we have no video. So you can't see that so-and-so has the book up in front of them and they're reading Almister's Guide to whatever, or they are doing layout for their latest project, or they are doing some work, right, in the background. We tend to multitask. But as players, you don't see this happen as much at a convention game, right? Or when you're playing with your friends face to face. But when you are playing, and I'm guilty of this too, so I'm not just throwing shade because I'm throwing shade. I'm talking that I've found myself falling into this rabbit hole of just you zone out, or you start digging into something, and you're watching some video without sound on YouTube, and the game's still going, right? Because there is that aspect that, well, the camera's not on me. Well, the focus isn't on my character right now. Therefore, I really don't need to pay attention. But you probably do. Okay, that's part of the game. That's part of the experience. But at a convention game or a face-to-face game, there's nothing worse than a player that's totally zoned out. And let's go to another issue as a player, or not just so much a skill, but maybe something you have to pay more attention to, or less attention to, is your phone. Um, we all have this, all right? We are in a society that expects us to be available pretty close to 24/7. Happened to me. There I am on a convention of gaming, and my phone rings, and I forgot to turn it to vibrate. And of course, it's my son with the latest non-emergency, but it needs to be talked about right away. And this shit happens. Step away. Okay. Listen, we all understand that real life is real life, and real world is real world. Step away from the game table. So if you're face to face, if you are playing with a group, folks, I'll be right back. I gotta handle something. Mute your microphone. Step away virtually from the table. Okay, nobody wants to hear you, talking somebody. Listen, you burned your dinner. It's not the end of the world, man. Go out and buy, fucking Burger King. They don't want to hear that shit. Okay, and not gonna say it's gonna break the immersion. we're not playing necessarily for immersion, but it's just rude. And again, I've been guilty of it. I've had my phone ring at the table. I've had to get up. But get up. Don't take your phone call and to the table and have your conversation at the table. Unless it's a quick, hey, I can't talk right now. I'll call you back in half an hour. Click. Try not to be, again, back to the phone, having your head buried in the phone with text messages. Because we think, oh, well, text messages, I'm not really distracting from them. It's not a phone call. Yeah, I know it's not a phone call. But everybody sees your head buried into it. And if you're paying attention to your text messages, you probably aren't paying attention to the conversation that's around the rest of the table. So, think about it. Listen to the DM. And I know as a DM, I throw a lot of shit out there that false leads, whatever. But a lot of times it's very frustrating when you throw things out there that is literally red meat for the taking and nobody was paying attention because everybody was multitasking. And when you're playing face to face, you can usually tell this and say, all right, folks, listen up. Here, get everybody's attention. But when you're playing virtually, and again, in the world of COVID, a lot of virtual gaming is going on. We had a lot going on before that, but virtual gaming is certainly taking a lion's share, so to speak, of a lot of the gaming that's going on now. You got to make sure, actually, it's DMs that pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, and somebody is going right now going, why is he talking this common shit stuff? Because, believe it or not, common sense is not common. Okay, if it was, it wouldn't be common sense. It's a misnomer, right? When we say common sense. While we as players like to get the limelight, right? We like it when we shine. You got to realize that it's not just for you to shine. And sometimes you're going to find your experiences better when you enable somebody else to shine. For the most part, for me, when I am playing in a game, whether it's at a convention or at a home campaign, I am not looking to play the character that's going to be the one that excels. I'm not looking to play the bag of shit either. But hey, the failed Jedi that's an alcoholic, and I can play it for some minor laughs, and I can play it as a support character. But I get more out of the game, I find, as a player. If I am supporting others, it makes it more of a team experience, more of a group experience. If I want to be the center of attention, and oftentimes, listen, I do these fucking videos on a daily basis, right? Obviously, there are some part of the need to be center of attention. But if I want to be center of attention in an RPG session, I'll run the session. I'll be the DM. If you have that need that every game session, your character has to be the focus of the game, and I've played with players that way, that it's all me. You know what? Study the rule book, get an adventure, and run an adventure. And then you can be the focus because you're going to have a table of 4, 6, 8, 10 people looking at you and asking, all right, so what's next? And then you are the focus, right? If you're going to be a player, remember, you're not one of one. You are one of many. And you're going to have a lot more fun in the end if everybody is having a good time. And if the only person that's having a good time is you, I can pretty much guarantee you, everybody else is fucking miserable. Okay? You can't always be the focus and look at yourself. You know, and I'm going to say this, oftentimes, I learned this when I was employed. I had a boss, a sergeant, that would give us our own evaluations and say, here, write your evaluation. It's like, what? He goes, write your evaluation, and then I'll look at what you said, and I'll figure out my evaluation from your evaluation of yourself. And invariably, We, with maybe one exception or two exceptions out of 8, but the vast majority were highly critical of themselves, which is good. When you put a critical eye at yourself, being highly critical of yourself means that you're looking for mistakes and you're willing to correct them. There are, and there were, 1 or 2 people in our squad of 8 that rated themselves a 5 out of 5 and felt that they were perfect and there was no need for improvement. Give a critical eye to yourself as a player, even as a GM. But right now, we're talking about players. Give a critical eye to yourself as a player and say, what can I be better at? And I'm not talking about solving traps, right? Or riddles, or, I need better tactics in combat. That all evolves naturally from gameplay. Honestly, it's the interaction with your group of fellow players that is a skill set that we often don't put as much effort into as we should. It's often forgotten. So just take a few moments, look at your gameplay, and say, am I having fun because my character kicks ass, or am I having fun because I'm with a great group of people and we kick ass together? If your character is the reason why you're having fun, then be a bit more critical of yourself the next game session and think that are the other players having fun? Am I stealing the limelight? Because again, if you need to, some people need that limelight. If you need that limelight, be the GM. Volunteer to run games. Okay, if you're in a long running game, a lot of times the DM, the GM, she's happy to take a step back, not have to worry about preparing game for every other week or every week, right? Take a step back, run as a player. There's a certain relaxation and joy to that, and so they'll be most of the time very happy to let you step up. So just give it a thought, give it an idea. Folks, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have other advice, I'd love to hear it. You can leave a voicemail, 347-509-5168. Yeah, listen, we're still in the midst of the world of COVID. I know I smack you all about this on a daily basis. I apologize, but it is what it is. Use your common sense. I know I told you it's an overlooked skill. Okay, it's a dump staff for many people. Use your common sense to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones healthy and safe. Be safe, be well. God bless each and every one of you. Roll those dice, roll them well. And I will be back again tomorrow. I'm going to experiment at some point with these live premieres where you pre-record something, and then you release it like it's an actual live show. But I don't know. I got to figure out how that works. All right. On that note, folks, thank you so much.